heard of this one as of yet. It's still in the conceptualization phase, I would say, but I went ahead and put in the IP so that I can kind of hold my place as I develop it more. And so this idea is for cars, it's for vehicles, and the indicator lights are usually one color, monocolor. I am proposing that it be multiple colors. So let's just say you're pulled over on the side of the road and you want to, you want people to know what's happening in that car. Not just, okay, there's an emergency, but maybe there's a medical emergency, so there will be a blue color for the indicators. It could be just a ride share and waiting for a fare, and you might be blocking, but people get annoyed, like, what are you doing? And it's like, I'm waiting for my fare. So if you had green indicator lights to let people know, okay, what's going on inside this car, I think it will help cars communicate more with the surroundings and people surrounding that vehicle. So thank you. So that's one of them. So look out for that one, okay?
Yes. Wow, unbelievable. Such a powerful, bright light. You know, somebody who like touched everyone just the moment she walked into the room, like with her eyes. Like she could light up a person or a room or an experience just with like how much enjoyment she could get out of the experience, whatever it is. And I saw her do that over and over. So it was like just seeing someone who like fully enjoyed their life and fully like, you know, enjoyed their people, like the amount of love, the amount of creativity, you know, the amount of different products and flyers and, you know, just, you know, it's like that amount of creativity on this planet, you don't really see it every day. And, you know, she was so unique that, you know, when you met her, you just know like it's a once in a lifetime experience. And so, you know, I'm just a little shook up at the moment. But the other thing about it is, as of recent, like we missed each other like really closely. Like there was times where she was like at an event about a month ago and I came to the event in the evening and she was already gone. And then I never knew until like 2 weeks later that she was hosting the event. And so, you know, those people that, you know, she touched and interviewed, or, you know, she put people like on a pedestal, like she'd be the interviewer and she'd ask you questions from a high space and, you know, sometimes sit at a lot of elders' feet. So, you know, just that amount of information, amount of power, that amount of clarity, creativity, all of the things that she embodied. Like, I just want to be able to figure out how'd she do it? Like, how'd she become that powerful so fast, so young, so charged? Like, you know, just gratitude for all the work that she did. Gratitude for like the love that she shared with us in our retreats. You know, she allowed me to work on her and, you know, share things that we, you know, shared with other people in private settings that we probably never shared with, you know, even our closest family members. And so, you know, the intimacy of relationships, of having knowledge of, you know, being a powerful pioneer, being a person who's fast forward in a lot of different ways. It just shows, man, we got to take care of people and we got to love them while we have an opportunity. And, you know, I think that's what she did. So
true, Mike. So true. I mean, the impact she made. Remember, just to reminisce, when we first started the Love Thyself in Brooklyn. I mean, in Florida, the Love Thyself tour. You remember when we had the mini mansion and we were doing the yoga? Man, the experience was amazing. Can you share about that, Mike? The Love Thyself experience we did in Florida that started
yes,
the.
yep. So we had like people come from all over the world to tap in on different healing and wellness practices. The interesting thing is I was being brought in by one side of the Powerful Pioneers and the other side of Powerful Pioneers were coming from like all up the East Coast. They were all traveling down. And so I was with the Florida crew, even though I'm a New Yorker, right? And so it's like very interesting to see us all unite and come together the way that we did. And so running into Baba Rojo, Sister PJ, Sister Imani, Baba Jason, Sister Simone in Fort Lauderdale, and having all of these powerful forces come and bring like all of this knowledge in one time. And, you know, she was like right in the middle of all of it, like hosting or, you know, interacting with people, but like just being a person who knows how to bridge the gap. Like Sister PJ was like amazing at bridging the gap and then like holding space so that people could express their talent or share themselves. And then we moved from the event that was, you know, on the ground and in the forefront to like the work that we did behind the scenes and the evening time cooking and feeding our whole community and doing a lot of wellness and healing work by the pool and, you know, just releasing like all of this different energy that we, you know, it felt ancestral, but also global. Like we were like global. There were so many global forces to show up. And, you know, she released a lot and she guided a lot of people through a lot of the healing practices. And, you know, Baba Rojo and Baba Fitz, who, you know, also, you know, brought so many different healing modalities. And, you know, just the experience was like once in a lifetime, because if you notice, like we haven't done that much of a powerful impacted event together since, and that's been a while, you know, so maybe 2 or 3 years. But it started off all of these different forces moving in a particular way, and now we're like at a point where we got to regroup now because, you know, one of the leaders of the movement has moved on and now has to lead us in a particular in a new way. So we just got to be open to, you know, what these birds are saying, what the sun is saying, and what nature is saying, and what God is saying, and just hear it all out. Take your steps. So I just want to say gratitude for everybody who listened to this message, and thank you for the Powerful Pioneers for sharing this sister and her. I mean, so many talented ways. Like like the different creations, like the different products created, like, you know, like the different formulas, the different, you know, magazines. Like, like, how do we celebrate? How do we celebrate? I don't know how to celebrate her properly, fully. So I'm just gonna,
Mike,
that's my,
we gonna
it's
do.
prep.
We're gonna make sure and have a 1 day celebration in each state for our sister PJ. We're gonna do it in New York, and we want you to be the one to represent for Florida. Yes, giving thanks. We're gonna do a day to celebrate sister.
I would love to. I would love to do anything that I can to honor her and to show her gratitude and appreciation and to do we already have a precedent. She already showed me what we do. We get together, we help people heal, we help people understand, we help people get clarity, we love on them, we help them express themselves, and then, you know, we help to leave them charged up 100%, 100% clarity, 100% understood, and 100% love. We can do a lot with that. Our people can do a lot with that. So gratitude, Sister PJ. Gratitude, Powerful Pioneers, Brother Rojo. Um, you know, everybody who's been on the journey with us. Brother Mixed Breed, you know.
Peace, love, and light.
Yeah. Brother
Baba,
Kenny,
Baba
man.
Jason in the building. You
Yeah,
giving thanks.
gratitude, man. Gratitude. And, you know, one of the messages that I had like with about a year ago when I was in California was that we all have to be very careful about fire, like with fire as well. But also like you gotta be fast enough to move from smoke and you gotta be wise enough to stay away from big fires. So you gotta move from fires, or, you know, sometimes it's dangerous and, you know, sometimes we're sleeping and things that we don't know. So we don't know all factors, but fire has been something that has been a protective force and a destructive force in our community that we need to make sure that we honor. And, you know, I just want to send love for Sister PJ because I don't know details on how she transitioned, but I just want her to be honored and loved, and know that she's loved. Gratitude
Mike,
for everyone. Listen.
Mike, you had shared one more thing, Mike, I want to share with you. You had shared about the 11/11. I know you in Cali now, so in New York is not 11/11, but I did mention about the 11/11. And one thing significant about that, me and PJ had a connection that any time when it's 11/11 on the clock, she either call me, text me, make sure to remind. So can you share some inspiration on that 11/11 principle?
Um, so one of the things about 11/11 for me is like it's a balance number, right? It's one and one on both sides, right? So it's balance, reflection, right? All of the different aspects of the one being of one. So, in some people, some cultures, the I and I, the mirror, right? The 11/11, the angels, the ancestors, the protection, like all of the balance points of our lives being aligned, and for the protection being present. And so for me, it's just a reminder to like just be an appreciative moment, be in a gratitude moment when I see it. So when we were connecting on the phone and I saw it, so we were talking about 11/11, and there's a yellow butterfly flying by me right now. And it's like, as we're talking about this thing, it's like the alignment of like all of us who are tapped in on whether 11/11 is important, or you keep seeing it, or it keeps showing up in your life, or the address you live in. Some people look at the Matrix movie, Matrix numbers, all of the different aspects of it. um it's just one of those alignment points where we can all agree that it feels good to connect on 11/11 energy, and feeling loved with the person who texts you at that time and say, hey, I remembered you at this time. Hey, I'm showing up in your life. Hey, as a reminder. Hey, as a reflection. And so, just having that connection with her, like I'm sure 11/11 Baba Rojo is gonna show up big in your life and gonna do some things and change things. And while those things changing, you'll see more detail of what that means, or what you can make meaning of it. So I'm just grateful, man. Like, I don't know how to say, grateful and sadness, but that's what I'm trying to do. It's like I'm sad, but I'm just grateful that, and like, wow, like the amount of times and the amount of impact that I've had interactions with her was just like, forget it. Like, just it's nothing like it. It's like straight retreats and straight wellness events. Every time we saw each other, we helping people. Every time we saw each other, we helping our community. Every time we saw each other, we bigging somebody up. Every time we saw each other, somebody needed attention, we gave it to them. Every time we saw each other, when we saw each other, we gave each other the biggest, brightest, strongest hugs, because we knew, like, hey, man, this is we live in once in a lifetime opportunities out. That's what I know. I'm not here practicing anymore. These are now once in a lifetime opportunities. Every day,
Mm.
every day, every moment,
Every moment.
brand
And
new.
with that, Mike, one of the songs that welcome to the healing station, nutrition kitchen. And we whipping it up right now. Key limes. I have the key limes. You have the table. You see our ladies out there doing the yoga by the water. Yoga by the water, you know. Got my brother just rising up from the beamer. If you can put him on one more time. One more time, brother. Just stay right there. We got you. We got one more. You got him, Mike? Velcro in the building. Yes. We already know. We over here increasing their circulation. Miami, Orlando, Healing Station. This is one of the new devices. Salute to Baba. As a healing device. Healing.
It's a blessing to see everyone. I am honored to be amongst the brothers and the sisters as we take out time to reminisce and celebrate the life and the accomplishments of our sister PJ. You know, we also give special thanks to Brother Cliff and his efforts, and not just this time, but all of those people that he's looked out for to give support and to show love for. That being said, when it comes to Sister PJ, you know, if you know me, you know I grew up in the Pentecostal church. I was a young man. I started preaching at the age of 15, and I worked at the church, which was a very large church. And one of my duties as a young minister was I had to officiate all of the funeral services for those that were not in leadership in the church, so the regular members. And if I say that I've done almost 100 of them, I would not be exaggerating. I would also say, oft times I found myself challenged trying to find something nice to say about the decedent. We don't have that challenge tonight when it comes to Sister PJ because of who she was. And I'm a very, very good judge of spirit and energy, and I can tell about a person who they are within 30 seconds of talking to them. And 30 seconds, my first 30 seconds in the presence of Sister PJ, I knew that I was entertaining a goddess, a spiritual being, one with insight, one with ambition, one with tact. She had a skill set. She knew how to tell me some of my work that I did on my book was horrible without hurting my feelings. That's a special skill set. And to say that she was a special individual, we all know that. But I think that it's important that we try to find ways to continue her work, continue her vision, and some of the programs that she's put together. I think that it would benefit us, benefit humanity, if we're able to find a way to take some of those projects that she's been working on and move them forward as much as possible. Sister PJ was a very, very dear soul. And like all of you, I was in shock and still kind of in shock by the news of her transition and the state and the events around her transition was extremely disturbing to me, and I'm sure to many, many others, and the tragedy that beheld the whole family. And so we want to always remember to hold them up in prayer in their time of bereavement. And one of the things we could do, as I said, and I hope that we'll find some time to come together to sit down and talk about what we could do to help keep Sister PJ's vision going forward. And so tonight, I'm honored to be here, just to have these few words. If you know me, you know I'm not a long talker. No, I'm lying. I can't talk long. I've just learned to.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I wasn't asking for confirmation. Thank you. I just control it. But I still have very, very mixed emotions. We're happy to celebrate, but she will be missed. She will be missed. I had her in so many of my plans and written in on so many things she know about it, things she didn't even know about yet. But God had other plans. And so for that, we're grateful and we acknowledge, and we will continue to try to move on. Brother Cliff um, I'll talk just briefly about Project Neo and the launch that's coming up. You know, we intended to launch about 3 months ago, but we decided to redo the back office. And so that has taken a little longer than anticipated, but we are about 75 to 80% done with everything. I've had